to start this kind of business at 25, that takes some guts.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. Where did you find the courage?
Yeah. Good question. So I think one, my dad is a very big picture uh, thinker. He's a dreamer as well. He's very encouraging. So honestly, growing up, I feel very fortunate. And my mom is a retired teacher, and so she's very positive as well. But honestly, as a kid, I didn't really feel a lot of kind of limitations coming from parents. And I know that for a lot of my clients, and I'm sure clients that you've spoken with in the past, sometimes people start getting negative messages about what they can and can't do very early.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't have those. So,
Nice.
my dad's kind of like, hey, if you want to do it, make it happen. It can happen. So I never thought like, hey, I'm a woman, or, hey, I'm a Black woman. People won't take me seriously. Those sorts of things, honestly, I can say as a kid, didn't even register.
Great.
So I think that, not having a lot of those limitations early on was very helpful. So I just kind of thought, hey, if I go and I study and I do something, I can be successful. Uh, so that was a very good foundation. From there, when we kind of transfer into the working world for that consulting firm that I was telling you about earlier, I worked in quite a few different roles and functions. So what was great is I got to see the business from different perspectives. One day I actually went to work and realized I was being sent out on a sales call. And I'm an introvert, so I never thought of myself as like, hey, I'm this, gregarious salesperson. But I realized, hey, they're sending me out on a sales call. And so I, went out and talked to a company about our services, and eventually the sales director at the time said, hey, I think you could be good at this. And at that time, the firm didn't have a really well built out kind of sales organization. It was like the director and the CEO were just selling to like enterprise clients. So they didn't really have anyone to sell to small, mid-sized businesses. So that's how I got thrown out there, right? But, to fast forward, I ended up in sales and business development. And, one of my later VPs of sales would say, being in sales is like having your own business. And he would say it all the time. And I realized he was right. And I said, organizing your sales activities and, figuring out what you need to be doing to bring in business, it really is like having your own business. So after, being in sales for a few years and realizing, hey, I helped them bring in millions of dollars in revenue. I think that I could do this for myself, right? And
Yes.
even if I brought in a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of that, I could be, happy focusing my efforts elsewhere. So I think having that experience was really pivotal from, one, my parents, but also, hey, I've done this before in an organization, helped businesses. That kind of gave me some of that courage to say, just put my stake in the ground and say, I can do this.
Nice.